Only 100,000 people. Those 100,000 people may be different in many ways, but there's one thing that brings them all together. The Green Bay Packers. In Titletown, the blue-collar city only knows hard work, tailgating, championships, but more importantly, they know family.
We have a saying in this town: faith, family, and the Green Bay Packers are all that you need. Sanjay and I grew up in Green Bay. You could say that we are Green Bay, or even better, the voices of Green Bay. We bring a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience.
Friendship, family, and football.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is the Freezer Podcast. Yes, we are back. This is the Freezer Podcast, where we bring you a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience. And alongside me, like always, is Fred and Matt. And we are live here in our home studios, brought to you by Game On Wisconsin. And guys, we are 3-3 after a dreaded letdown in London. We were let down in Lambeau a week later, and it was not great, as Matt and I had to watch it live. Some of us left earlier than others. Right. I'm pretty sure 70,000 people left early.
I wasn't alone.
But, this was definitely, guys, a game that we will hope that we will not have to relive again during this season. Hopefully not relive again in the Matt LaFleur era, but given how things are trending right now, I don't know if this is going to be the last time we see this kind of performance from this team based on what we've seen in the last couple weeks. But your guys' feelings, I know we're going to have a lot of ranting on this show. I know, there's going to be a lot of, relieving the stress. Matt, we'll start with you because you are going to be leaving a little bit earlier today. How you doing, buddy? At least good drinks were had, good times were had before the game. But how you doing?
I'm doing good. We're okay. I didn't know that the best part of my Sunday was going to be the omelet I had for breakfast at Nicolay Restaurant in De Pere. I didn't think that would be the highlight of my day, but it in fact was, because it was all downhill from there. But let's be real, the tailgate was just fine. But dude, I'm in, I don't know, man. Like I'm just wondering how we're here. Like, I know we're going to get into it and kind of dissect it, but I'm very, in my feelings. I'm a bit down about the Packers right now. Jake. I'm not feeling good about things, and I want to be optimistic, but man, I'm just, this 6 weeks, I just can't believe we're 3-3. In some years 3-3 might be something you cheer and celebrate, but this 3-3 feels like, like 1-5, 2-4, something. And we're left here on a Tuesday at 6, looking at each other going, what the hell happened? So we'll try to figure out that here over the next, 30, 40, 50 minutes. But, I think I'm feeling how you guys are feeling, just a little bit run down.
Fred, you got to see this on your TV screen. I'm
not any better.
You were walking away or either leaving the basement or going down to the basement. I don't know what you were doing, but you were probably doing something that wasn't
pacing.
Watching the game and pacing. I know you'd mentioned to us that you stopped watching and you started watching other things. Fred, how about you? How are you feeling this Tuesday?
I mean, not better. No better than I felt yesterday or on Sunday. I mean, I am a kind of a psychotic optimist with the Packers. I feel like I've always been somebody who benefit of the doubt, roots for them, knows that there's something better there. But this is like 6 weeks of progressively getting worse and showing up with less heart and less, fire juice, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't look like it's getting better. Now we're getting worse into potential locker room issues, guys not trusting each other, team not playing for each other. And that's kind of what happens when this starts to, you start going 3-3, you're having these bad losses. It starts to be kind of a cancer within the team. It's not a matter of talent. We all know that there's great talent here, but you're just starting to see this kind of like disconnect between players and coaches and players. And it doesn't look good. And I don't know what the answers are. I know we could probably drum up about 14 different options tonight of what we could do. But man, it's rough. It's scary to look at. I guess I said this to you guys earlier. The one saving grace, silver lining out of this whole thing for me is the NFC doesn't look too tough right now, outside of maybe the Eagles. So, it'd be different if there was like 3 or 4, 5-1, 6-0 teams, and we had to start, digging ourselves out big time. Yeah, one of them's in our division, the other one is the Eagles, but there's opportunity. It's one thing if we just suck talent wise, but it seems to be a little bit deeper. And I don't know if that makes it an easier fix or a harder fix, but there's a lot of work that's got to get done here.
Matt, your thought, at least, because let's just be honest, the game felt like we didn't lose all facets of the game. I think defensively we did as much as we could do that entire first half. Special teams was, for the most part, okay till the usual moment. But offensively, I want to talk to you about coaching, and you can talk about other coaches too if you need to. But Matt LaFleur, we've been 3 years now with this, experiment, and we've seen, some heartache, some surprises, some, okay, damn, this guy can maybe do something. But then we've also seen a lot of different, okay, head scratchers. Why are we not ready? Why is this team always not prepared or not hyped up enough, not running the offense that they got, that what got them there in the first place? Why are we not doing that same thing? But I know a lot of fingers are being pointed, obviously, at Rodgers and this offense, and Aaron Jones not getting the ball, and the receivers not being adequate enough for Aaron, and the offensive line, obviously. But I always do lead back to the one general statement, and that is the guy that leads it all. Your thoughts on Matt LaFleur?
Well, I think it's easy to criticize, the players, and believe me, they deserve their fair share of the blame. I mean, they're not executing at all. But at the end of the day, Sanjay, you're absolutely right, because this is Matt LaFleur's team and it's his offense. At the end of the day, the buck stops with him, and ultimately it's on him to get these guys on the same page, pulling in the same direction. And if your offense isn't working, finding ways to get it working, and I don't know what that's going to take at this point, because it does kind of appear like they're at a stalemate with, well, how are we going to execute? What's our identity going to be? From the outside looking in, it definitely looks like they're continuing to try the same offensive scheme that they've been doing the last few years, albeit those are very successful offenses. But I think they're coaching a scheme for the roster they don't have. I don't think you have the dudes at wide receiver to be doing what you're trying to do downfield. I'm sure Fred's got some of these stats up here that are mind melting about, down the field throwing and being a bit. I mean, yeah, we're leading the league in 20 yards down the field, and then we're 25th in the completion percentage. I mean, you have to look at that game planning and go, okay, we need to, if we're throwing it deep, man, it's got to be, it's got to be a hitter. You can't do something.
Which it's
we're not doing 50-50 balls this year, because you don't have a Devontae Adams on the team who's just better no matter what, who's matched up across from him.
Or even if the 50-50 ball's there, it's off target by a long shot.
Well, exactly that. And I would be curious to see Aaron Rodgers, deep ball percentage, because I think it's got to be equally in the dirt. When he does go deep, if they're sailing on him, they're going out of bounds, they're to the outside when they should be on the inside, whatever the case is. So even when they are throwing them up, they're all over the place. But I think the biggest
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question really quick, because you said that we don't have the roster to be throwing the ball down the field. Do you think that's Aaron Rodgers, or do you think that's Matt LaFleur? Because I think Matt LaFleur's offense is not predicated on throwing it down the field. I think it is short passes, using DeGuara, Bobby touchdowns, running the ball a little bit more. And I think
you said it
that's
right there.
where I'm like,
you said 85, right? Like we finally learned how to use him.
Right. But that's my point, is I think that's the offense.
Right.
And that's where I think the blame has to kind of come back again on Mr. I want to play hero ball, whenever things are not looking great or I'm feeling a little whatever. So I do think the offense is absolutely molded for this roster or vice versa. I think what's happening is Aaron Rodgers is resorting back to, I mean, I don't know if he's having like flashbacks of tripping out or whatever, but like if he's going back to McCarthy ball. Like he's playing, I'm going to extend the play, I'm going to try to find some stupid thing instead of running the offense, which we've seen multiple games this year, first half especially, be super successful. And yet you come out even against the Jets, and it was like you saw like these like weird glimmers of it, but like it's never consistent. And I gotta believe that there's no way that that's LaFleur being like, okay, we're gonna run my offense, and then hey, Aaron, throw somebody really far down. Like, there's just no way. I can't imagine he's that arrogant or stupid about it. But I can believe that Aaron Rodgers thinks, no, I could beat this defense. I'm Aaron Rodgers.
I'm in agreement, and I think we've talked about this on multiple shows. Where I mean, you're with me. I feel like the offense right now is LaFleur trying to do one thing, and Aaron Rodgers either changing to something else, or doing what he wants to do. And I don't believe at all for 1 second that it's LaFleur's preference to be leading the league in 20 yards and passes 20 yards down the field, particularly when the numbers don't support it. But I'm with you on that, and I think the second part is the absolute travesty that is the lack of touches for Aaron Jones. I knew something was going on the first time the offense stepped on the field, and it was A.J. Dillon coming out to start the game. And then when A.J. Dillon fumbled the ball, he comes in the next series. I mean, and then after the game to hear Rodgers and LaFleur both sit there and say, well, we need to get the ball to Aaron Jones more. You guys have said that 6 consecutive weeks, and you've not done it once. What is the deal? Why aren't you getting him the ball? You can sit there and say, well, the game flow, blah, 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 blah. It was 3-3 at halftime. There was no blowout. You were in the game the entire time. I understand the offensive line was having one hell of a day, but come on, you have got to get a grip there. And that to me is where I get on LaFleur more. It's like, you are the coach, and I understand Rodgers is kind of the other coach, and he gets a lot of freedom, but sit his ass down and be, come on, man, like, we got to get Jones the ball. And if you have to start doing things like running just a straight up run call, there's no pass solution to it, or get him under center again, I don't know what it's going to take, but just going out every single week and trying to do the same thing you did the week before, or having intentions of changing it and it blowing up after a series or two, you can't do it anymore. And it's costing him games, and it's definitely contributing to their lack of productivity and inconsistencies.
Well, you saw Tampa Bay. You saw 2 straight drives of flawless, I think, system play, right? We saw them run the system. They ran the ball. They had short, intermediate passes. They would get into multiple receivers. It seemed like they almost had like 6 different guys catch a ball on those drives. And they methodically went down the field against their starting defense. So you like to think that, yes, Fred, this offense is catered to Matt LaFleur's scheme and what 100%. He needs to do. But it's a matter of, what days Aaron Rodgers feel like he wants to do that? Because there are times in the Bears game, first drive, methodical all the way down the field. It looked great. You're like, okay, this is exactly how we all envision this offense to go. Basically dink and dunk, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, smash mouth offense. And then, maybe get a little Lazard slant, or maybe a Bobby touchdowns, out route in the, or a crossover route, whatever it may be. We just figured that would be like the touchdowns we'd probably see. And then maybe we'd get some shocking, deep route from, Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs, and they'd, show flashes of, okay, dang, we might have something in these rooks. That's how I saw this offense. I'm not seeing that at all. And I don't know if there's just like a power struggle from Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. And, there's this back and forth between the press and, Pat McAfee of, we're not feuding. If you'll have to ask Aaron, why do we have to ask Aaron anything? If you guys are so simpatico and guys love each other, then you should be freaking calling the right plays and then running the right plays on the field. So I don't understand where this whole, beef might be on this through the media, because I know they're not calling it beef, but it seems like they don't know each other's feelings about how this offense is run and how this offense is trending. And it's actually getting kind of annoying. But Fred, I want to get to your point on the offensive line as a resident offensive line coach here. It is only right that you talk about this. David Bakhtiari, we knew would be a little bit of a work in progress, but it looked like he kind of got his, feet back kind of under him last week and seemed like he was the one bright spot. I don't think we have a problem with John Runyon Jr. The guy just got fined by his dad, so that's interesting. So, but the whole right side though seems to be an absolute crap show. And I don't know, and I'm trying to be really positive for Elton here because the guy is shown so much versatility. He's shown so much skill and, basically proved himself as being one of the best offensive linemen, at least in this league, at least. I don't know. But can you really put anything? Can you put your nose on anything? And I know who you're going to say, and I haven't said them yet, but talk about this offensive line.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's got to be reshifted. It's got to be worked over. I mean, that's the thing. I think they had an idea of what they wanted to go into the season with, and it's not panning out. I mean, what we saw against the Jets was, man, I don't know. Maybe you guys can think. I don't remember a worse time that I've ever seen where I've seen our offensive line just get absolutely
maybe
destroyed.
that 2016 year where we were just shuffling offensive linemen left and right.
I mean, yeah, but that was like you expected.
But we had a reason, right?
There was so much going on and guys were out. This one was really bad. We've gotten a few mentions here in the comments about Royce Newman. I mean, man, what a good year last year. Nothing great, but definitely a good solid year for him. I was hoping to see some progression with him, and my God,
Woof.
Someone check on him, make sure he's alive. Is he okay? I mean, is he having, PTSD, nightmares? I mean, Halloween came early for him. It was spooky season because he was not only getting just manhandled, but he couldn't seem to figure out which way to go, which checks were going down. I mean, it was an absolute travesty watching him play. It almost got comical at the end. But the thing that I think they have to do and they have to just really consider is that reshuffle. And I think that starts with bringing a guy who I think we all three pretty much dubbed a Hall of Famer the last 2 years in Elton Jenkins. Maybe not the last 2 years, the years, but
I was thinking you were talking about someone else, but you were right. Yes, sorry.
No, Elton. I mean, we raved about him, right? Swiss Army knife, play every 5 positions. I mean, he was just I think he was graded like a top 5 in every 5 positions across the league last year or the year before. But clearly there's some things going on there, recovering from an injury, putting him at right tackle, obviously is just not working, right? It's not the situation that we need. The interior of the line needs to be fixed. Bring him back in the interior, and then you got to figure out something with that right tackle. But, I mean, of all the millions of things that happened in the game, I mean, game of trenches, right? And we lost that bad, like really, really bad. So as bad as Rodgers is, sure doesn't help when he's got, 2 seconds to throw the ball. As bad as, as Dylan was ultimately, not easy when you got Quinnen Williams, body slamming you. Aaron Jones, same thing. I mean, it was a recipe for disaster, and it just nothing got better.
None of this makes sense because how often, and not what you just said, Fred, I just mean like their situation, because how often do you hear about any team in the NFL re-adding 2 all-pro talents to any position group and getting drastically worse? I've never heard of it before. And they didn't have Bakhtiari all last year. They had Jenkins for, 6 or 7 games before he was gone. And they played just fine. It was actually one of the strengths of their team was how great the offensive line was playing.
Where's Yash? Bring in Yash.
I don't understand how you can regress that much. And I get that those guys are coming back up from injury and trying to find their legs. But I got to believe in 80% David Bakhtiari or Elton Jenkins is better than 100% Royce Newman or whoever else. It makes no sense. Is it because Stenavich has left the position group? I know they say he's in the room often, but it's like, is his...
it's what Dick. It's Butkus' unit now, right? So,
and they're not.
I agree.
Will never find its footing unless that offensive line finds their footing. That is the key to the whole thing right now.
And I do think, again, we're week 6, so I think the excuse doesn't really apply here necessarily. But I do know, like we've heard from a few, or I've watched a few offensive linemen just talk about, how, skipping preseason can kind of affect their start to the season because they're just trying to get their body back into battle mode, right? Because that's the hardest position. I mean, one of the hardest positions on the field because you're in constant battle mode day in and day out. You're battling through, getting basically, one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat with another man, 70 plays a game for 16 weeks. So I know there's a little bit behind that, but then I go to, okay, well, we're week 6, right? We should probably be a little bit better at that situation. But yeah, I think it's got to be a reshuffle. And I think that of all the things that are the problem seems to probably be the easiest solution. Now that's optimistic.
Where we have a lot of depth.
Of course, yeah, we do have a lot of depth. So it sounds great, right? It sounds like we can switch some guys around, move them around, maybe find some new rhythm there. But then again, it could be a deeper issue than even that. But I find that hard to believe. I think that's one of our deepest positions. We've seen offensive lines across the league be a little weird and a little off this year. So that's like probably a little bit on the back burner of all the issues for me. But I think if we go it again this week and we don't see any changes, we don't see any movement, we don't see any rotation of guys, and we just get demolished again against a very good front seven in Washington, it just comes back to, again, a higher issue of why is LaFleur not approaching these coaches, the wide receivers coach, the offensive line coach, Joe Barry's dumbass, and being like, hey, like, do you guys need assist? Like, is something like, what do we need to do to get you guys figured out? And that's where I think the biggest question lies with LaFleur is, I say it all the time, you can't be a friend, you got to be a parent to your kids. Is he a friend or a coach?
Yeah.
It's time for him to coach. He needs to coach. He can't be buddies with Aaron Rodgers. He can't be buddies. He can't be culture dude. He needs to be the effing coach, and he needs to demand that these players play for him and demand that these players step up or they're gone. But it feels like it was cute for the first couple of years, right? Because everyone's like, oh yeah, he's, it's fun, it's great. But now it's like we're on year 3, 4, and you're just another dude. Like, you're not respected. You're not, and maybe they are, but maybe it comes deeper. Maybe it's the players are watching the disrespect from Aaron Rodgers by not running his offense. And so they're like, well, if this motherfucker can do it, sorry for swearing, if this guy can do it, why can't I do it? Why do we gotta listen to him? Because they're, you know what I mean? Like, that's a psychological thing that goes on in these players' minds. And if the coach doesn't walk into a room and demand it, I mean, you're talking like, that's the guy behind, Vince Lombardi walked in the room, he demanded it. Grown men were kids to him. And that's just, I feel like that's maybe where we come back to with it.
Well, and I think this is their true first real bout of adversity under the LaFleur era. I think this is the lowest moment of his tenureship here. I mean, they've had some bad losses.
We lost a couple NFC championships.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but those aren't the low moments. You're in the second to last game of the year. Right now, you're 3-3. You've lost back-to-back games. You've looked like shit for 6 weeks. At least in the past, you're winning some games. You get dusted by the Chargers or whatever. Fine, but this is the most adversity they faced. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily like,
it's deeper than just a loss, man. This is a genuine potential implosion. I mean, you texted fire sale, for God's sakes. We weren't thinking that when we lost the NFC Championship. We were upset. I was
in the
definitely a low
point. Feelings, but like,
no, I know, but I'm just saying. I think that this situation right now is so much bigger and deeper than what we're able to put our finger on, as opposed to like, we lost the NFC Championship, I'm super bummed about it. Like, this could be like a holy shit moment if we go out and lose to Washington, and we have, like, the genuine consideration of like, does Gutekunst stick around? Does LaFleur go? Does
but
Rodgers
at the same
get
time
shipped
too,
out?
you guys are saying this team has the talent. I don't think it's at that level.
I agree.
There's 7 teams
Giants,
that are like 3
Jets,
and 3.
Washington. If we lose to those 3 teams,
we've had bad losses.
Rock bottom.
Before. We won a Super Bowl at
3 in a
10-6. We were probably in the same. Okay. We were probably in the same like panic mode.
I hate when people bring up 2010.
No, I'm just saying, but it's the truth.
Fucking years
what
ago.
It's the truth.
I know, but it's like
two different teams.
We're talking about two different teams.
I
two
get
different
that
coaches,
it's two different teams, but I'm saying we were probably in the same emotional state of knowing, are we even going to be a playoff team? Because we didn't.
Yeah, but
we barely made the playoffs.
But that's 2010. We're in 2022.
We had to go on the biggest run of our life.
For the last 12 years of our life, every time something bad happens, we always go back to, well, 2010, we got in because we were wild.
Yeah, I get that. That's annoying.
Yeah,
but I'm also saying that was also a moment where we were panicking. Like, we had to beat the Giants on some miraculous deep ball.
Yeah, but we didn't lose. But we didn't lose.
But that's what I'm saying. We're not at that point yet. We're still 3-3. You just said it yourself. The NFC is weak. Yeah, the Jets. Yes.
Who are you right now?
I know. I'm trying to be the realistic one here.
Stop it.
Okay.
What's going on?
The Giants just beat the Ravens. Okay. They're 5-1. Are we not giving them enough credit? Brian Daboll's a great coach. So is Mike Martindale.
I think they're good teams.
Okay.
I think they're better teams than what we give them credit for.
Yeah, the Jets. Robert Saleh is a great defensive coach. That's why he got the job.
We're gonna excuse this team until they're fucking 4-8, and then we're gonna go, oh shit. Well,
no.
Tyler Heineke's a real good talent.
I'm not excusing it. I would like to see if we are like a losing record, because Fred, you kept saying it before. You said a win's a win. It doesn't matter if it's ugly. All that bull.
We're not winning.
I know. Now I was asking you, Fred, did I not ask you 2 weeks ago, if we start losing, are you going to still be this guy that's win's a win? It don't matter? Because I was wondering how long it would take us to figure out our shit. I think you said it's going to be a long season. It's still early.
I think it's
the same argument now.
Two things quickly on that. One, that was like I was saying long season week 3, week 4.
It's week 6.
But I'm talking about the shitty wins that we had week 3s and 4. Like, that's what I'm talking about. We followed shitty wins by shitty losses, and now that starts to snowball into a holy shit moment. And to touch on what Natasha says, Natasha, whatever. I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right, but I'm not saying we're falling apart generally because we lost 2 games. I think that there's internal issues. We're not falling apart. Internal issues because of the LaFleur offense versus Rodgers versus everything else. I think there's a lot going on. I think the locker room's sketchy. I think you have Jair last week saying, "Oh, we're gonna lose to the Jets." Like
a win cures everything.
Get a cookie. A win does cure everything, and I think if we can go out and beat Washington, we're all going to feel a little bit better.
They don't have Chase Young. They don't have Chase Young. They have obviously their 2 big mountains in the middle. That could pose a problem if this Royce Newman guy cannot figure things out.
The Jets offensively didn't do a single thing, so I'm not worried about. We got destroyed by the Jets defense. We can get destroyed by that Washington defense. We can get destroyed by the Giants defense. That's my point, is I'm not worried about the offense because we shut down the Jets offense. I mean, Wilson had 110 yards.
I wasn't saying that was never a threat. I'm thinking that this defense isn't as formidable as we're saying. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be against our Packer offense, but this Washington team is dog crap across the board. I mean, it is as bad as it's statistically.
But here's the thing: the Packers have done nothing at all.
I know.
To make you think
the
doesn't matter who they're playing.
Well, let's move on to the defense because they did something this week. Why are you saying this team hasn't done anything? That defense held that team to 3 points in the first half. They were doing their job.
Because they take the second half off. They haven't played a full game just like the offense hasn't.
There's only so much they can do every week, Matt. When that team goes 3 and out every single possession, they're going to get tired.
But the second the offense does anything, they all of a sudden disappear. There's no complimentary football.
When has disappeared?
The second half happened.
No.
Gone.
No. Oh, yeah, but the offense never did anything in the first place. I'm talking about when
the
offense has done something, when have they stopped?
They've not played cohesive all year. It's maybe their biggest issue. There's a lot of them, but that's one of the biggest ones, is that one team is doing one thing and one side of the ball is doing the other.
They saved the Bears game. They saved the Buccaneers game.
The defense, and I said it last week, I believe the defense is the most fixable. I also think they deserve the most credit for how they've been playing. You're turning into Peter Belichickowski.
No, beautiful.
Here's the thing about the Packer fan base is either it's always sunny in Green Bay, or you're like me, where it's like, hey, everything's not wine and roses.
Yeah, you're doom and gloom. That's who you are.
It's 6 miserable games. The caveat to all of this is all three of
We're
us
3 and
believe.
3.
All 3
I'm
of us
going by
believe.
Fred's logic.
Hold
here.
on. All 3 of us believe that the Packers have time to do it. But the problem is, through 6 games, I have no feeling inside of me. Like, I don't know where it's going to come from. What do you hang your hat on? I mean, I need to see something. It's one game.
That's the thing.
That's all of it.
Okay.
I just here's the thing is
We'll
I'm
talk
not
about the
trying to
defense.
be super negative about it, and I do.
You're
think
not
that,
actually.
like
It's this one.
I see a lot of good stuff with it, but I am a little concerned about just the team in general, right? Like it doesn't feel like they're out for like it doesn't seem like they're playing for each other. It doesn't feel like they want to battle for each other. Like a couple of years ago, I mean, this defense, the D train, like they were running. I know that was like the Zadarius Smith time, but like, where's that like, where's their little identity, their little whatever dance or whatever you want to call it. Like, I just wish that it felt like they all wanted to kind of play with each other, and it kind of feels like they don't. And there's like kind of that, like there's a little bit of disconnect,
I do see that.
and that's like where I'm so concerned about it, because you got to be a really good team if you're going to plan on going into the playoffs.
Right. They need to have like some picking apples moment or paintball moment.
I say, yep. And I say there's a couple things. One,
apples.
Well, no, I'm serious. Like it could be a game. It could be a big game, a couple interceptions, something for the defense, offensively, a big game scoring a lot of points. But there's got to be a new fire or a new like band together, because you're getting made fun of right now. Right? You're getting tossed around in the media. The fans are booing you. They were leaving early. Like, if that doesn't inspire you to play better football with your teammates, then you're not in the right sport. I also agree, like, very much with what this guy said, and I would do this if I was the coaching staff. I would 100% do this, and I would hang this picture up in every single turn of every single hall inside Lambeau, so that they can see it, and then maybe, just maybe, they look around and go, "We got straight up dogged in our own stadium. The great Lambeau Field got dogged, and you guys just didn't you guys didn't even stand up to it." I mean, outside of Lazard flipping it off his hat, tip my hat to Lazard on that. But like, how disrespectful! And you guys were just like, well, we just aren't that good, so I guess we suck. Whatever. I got my money. I'm good to go. That to me is a huge issue, and I'm really stressed out about that part of it.
Okay,
I agree.
I got a dip, but I want to say this before I go. Like, I genuinely, of course, want the Packers to figure this out, and one win can change it all. And I thought it was going to be this last week against the Jets, to come out and have a strong showing and win the game and get yourself course corrected, and they didn't show up again. I'd like to think that this coming week against Washington, that's going to be possible. I mean, again, you're down to a backup quarterback or third string, possibly. It's just that, just figure out a way to get it done, and stack 1 into 2, 2 into 3, etc. And then you can kind of build upon that. The problem is the perceived soft part of the schedule is over. May have not have been as soft as we thought it was, but now you're going to get in some heavy hitters, and not just in the conference, but in the NFL. Buffalo on the horizon, Dallas coming to town, got to play Philly, all that stuff. So it's like, you got to start now to prove to yourselves, hey, we can do this and we can put this back together. I think they can do it, but my frustration is there's been no consistency, and it doesn't look like they're even trending in the right direction. That's the problem. Like, at least there's some hope. I think where I can get hope is the defense, but offensively, I am totally lost on them right now.
I mean, this is another huge thing, is you went against the Giants, you lost, you didn't give the ball to Aaron Jones, you didn't put pressure on the defense, you didn't blitz anybody. That was the whole conversation last week, right? Not giving Aaron Jones the ball. We didn't blitz corners. We weren't more aggressive. We should have done more things. And so you thought, okay, we're going to go in the Jets, right? We're going to blitz. We're going to give Aaron Jones the ball. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And we didn't do any of it. So, like, that's the other concern. Like, are they just that, like, just arrogant that they're like, nah, we're good. We don't need to figure that out.
I think they probably took it as they're playing the Jets and the Giants. That's how they probably were doing it.
Well, that's the problem.
They're not the same Jets and Giants.
That out.
Boys,
Matt, before you go, prediction. Sorry.
But it's 23-21 Packers over the Commanders.
Love you.
It's not Wentz.
It doesn't matter. Zappy, hippie, happy.
He doesn't even know the quarterback.
Doesn't matter. Daniel Jones, Zappy, Field. Doesn't matter.
Taylor Heineke.
Just get the win. Just get the
All
win.
right. Well,
Go Pack, go
as
boys.
Matt leaves us, hopefully you have a good night,
buddy.
bud.
I will.
Good luck, Madison. All right. So it's just the two of us, Fred.
That was interesting.
Yeah, what is this guy?
I
Got
don't
this
know.
frozen.
At least I'm knocking him out of here.
Yeah,
all right. So here's the other thing that I was gonna say is, here's me going back to, maybe a little bit of my conspiracy theory thought process. You knew this was coming at
No,
some point
don't
this
say this
season.
again. Go ahead. Go
What?
ahead. I know.
What if? Right? We're talking 3 straight years. Not a lot of juice in the end of the season. Struggle late in the season.
I'm not.
Is there
promoting
any
this.
chance that they're running a vanilla offense with the idea of like post week 7-8, they kind of start.
These guys are getting
amping
paid
things
millions
up?
of dollars. You're not telling me these guys are.
Well, they're
Just
getting paid millions of dollars. They're playing like shit anyway, so maybe
All
there's a
right,
reason.
fine. Chalk it up to that, and then we'll sign off.
I mean, I just can't quite understand not only the lack of execution, but would never say tank, Fidel. But is there any chance that I don't know? That's what he
Go
said
ahead.
his
Go
name
on.
was. It was
Fiddle
definitely,
Smith.
it
You're
was,
calling him Fidel like Fidel Castro? That ain't even close.
yeah. What are you talking about?
The disrespect. All right, sorry, Fiddle Smith. You said Fidel. Like that guy's a
Look at your
terrible
screen,
person.
dum dum. Look at your screen, dum dum.
Fiddle.
It's not fiddle. He does. That's not fiddle. Get out of my face. Yeah. See, Fidel. Is it Fidel or? Okay, whatever. I don't have time to talk about Fidel's name.
I thought it was Fiddle. Somehow.
I lost my complete train of thought. We got to fiddle our way out of this one. Jeez Louise. It's falling apart. I knew.
All right. Do you not have your top? Did you forget it?
I did, but I'm going to say this, and I want to talk a little bit about this because I brought it up again about Coach LaFleur, and I'm not, by all means, I'm not putting all the blame on Coach LaFleur, but it does feel like he doesn't quite have this team locked in, and there's a concern with his friend group, right? His brother. He can't beat any of these guys, right? McVay's the one guy that he's mildly successful against, and thank God, but can't beat Shanahan, right? He struggles against Saleh, who is his best man in his wedding, and he got destroyed by him. I mean, just absolutely destroyed by him. Is there a concern that, like, they know, not that he's not a good coach or that he sucks, because he's clearly good, right? Regardless of having Aaron Rodgers and things like that, like, he still put together, 3 consecutive, pretty much 13 win seasons. That's pretty impressive. But is there a concern that he's like a fish bleeding in the ocean and there's sharks around, right? I mean, perfect example. This is what his best man at his wedding had to say.
The mindset to go 60 minutes and to give him 60% more and just keep giving him body blow after body blow after body blow and just keep hitting him in the mouth. O-line just keep pushing and just keep leaning on him, and we felt like if we can just keep taking him down to deep water, they'll find out they can't swim. And it was just a mindset. And I thought our O-line was outstanding, especially in that fourth quarter, just leaning on them, especially in the run game. Wish we would have punched one in at the end, but good job by them, obviously.
You brought them out to the water to die. Don't tell me that's a mindset, bud. That is that Matt in adverse moments cannot handle it, and you punched him and you punched him and you took him down. Now, we've said for years on this show that when our team gets punched in the mouth first, we falter massively. There's been another, I don't remember where I saw it, but there was somebody who talked about how maybe it was Bukowski. I know that Neil loves Bukowski, but I think he brought up something where he was talking about 2019, about a play in 2019 that he couldn't, when San Francisco ran the ball over us. Is he that good? Is he that smart that like he gets into that mindset and he just can't overcome certain things because it's just too much?
It's a trend, right? He can't win big games. I mean, even when they do win some games that are close, like the Bengals game, right? All these missed field goals, and somehow you squeaked it out. I feel like he's a squeaker. Like he just squeaks them out. I get it. A win's a win, but it just never feels like he dominates a team. I mean, yeah, maybe he dominates bad teams, but I've never seen us just go like that Tampa game. We should have destroyed him and made Tom Brady look completely like stupid. And we did it. We took the foot off the pedal like we always do. Same thing with like the Bears. And then even with the Vikings, we've had good games against the Vikings. I will say that. He has done pretty well against them. But like again, his preparedness for games, for seasons, like you don't take the preseason seriously. You say, "Oh, well, we don't need to
You travel like shit."
Yeah, you travel like shit. You can't go across the sea and take down a team, even though you have the lead at half.
You can't go to Florida. You can't go to California. You struggle every time. I mean, there's a long distance game.
I've said this.
There's a juice issue.
I'm giving this guy the leash for at least when they have Jordan Love. Like, I'll give him 100%. This leash because we don't know if it's Aaron Rodgers or if it's a Matt LaFleur thing. Exactly. Obviously, when Rodgers leaves, let's see if it's a LaFleur thing. And if he still can't, I am actually, and this is, I guess this could be considered a hot take. I actually don't know if he's good at coaching. I think he has the right offense. I think he has the right ideas. He just may not be the right coach. I think they've worked together.
I disagree.
I think they've worked together, him and Rodgers, and they've made something really, really good. But I also feel like, and I want to be wrong. This, again, I said this is, I don't feel good about this take. I'm just saying there could be this possibility that this could happen in the next 4 or 5 years. Because let's just be honest, they're not going to cut him anytime soon. But I'm a little worried that maybe the lack thereof in consistency with wins. Sure, you can beat all the crappy teams, but when it comes time to freaking make it count, I know a lot has to do with Rodgers. He hasn't performed well in the games. But
that's the thing. It does have a lot to do with Rodgers. And Rodgers,
I know, but that's how long are you going to keep that as your club? But then you're not standing up for him. Or sorry, you're not standing up against him. You have no spine then.
Well, no, I'm saying we
told him to be a coach, right?
We bitched about McCarthy. No, I am. I'm just saying we bitched about McCarthy, and we bitched about for not running the ball and playing this certain type of offense. And then LaFleur comes in. We've seen hints of what his offense is, but then we keep seeing Aaron Rodgers go back to a McCarthy type ball. The not running the ball. There's two different coaches who apparently just don't run the ball. I find it hard to believe. What's the common denominator? It's Aaron Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers checking out of runs when he shouldn't be checking out of runs. That's what I truly think it is. Now, that being said, I think LaFleur is a good coach. I think that the problem is he spent his first couple of years trying to
I have one question for
friendship more than anything. What?
Is Aaron Rodgers bigger than the Green Bay Packers? Because
he thinks
Brian Gutekunst thinks so. They gave him $50 million, and Matt LaFleur can't seem to get him under control because he just does what he wants. So you tell me, is this guy bigger than the Green Bay Packers? Because clearly everybody in 1265 Lombardi thinks so. But then I don't know why he gets away with this then. Because
that's a good call.
Is he the greatest manipulator? Because maybe that's it.
I don't know. I don't know what the situation is, but I'll tell you this much is when LaFleur got brought in, it was already on a weird situation, right? Rodgers was already kind of in that weird mode of like not knowing what's going on. He's pissy, whatever. If I'm LaFleur, right? Like, let's look at it from LaFleur's standpoint. He comes in as a coach. He's promised to get to run his offense. He's able to, promise to draft these certain players. We're gonna build this offense.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're probably gonna get rid of Rodgers. And then Rodgers goes and wins 2 MVPs, right? That fucked everything up. I'm sorry to swear, but it screwed everything up. Because now all of a sudden
this was let's get him out of here kind of move.
I think the plan was when LaFleur came in that they were going to try to ship out Aaron Rodgers, let LaFleur run the system with a Jordan Love and start drafting the talent, and then all of a sudden Rodgers plays incredible football for 2 years. It's how do you not pay the MVP off of coming off 2 MVPs? I mean, it was
Okay.
they were kind of it backed up to a corner, right? I mean, that's a tough situation to be in, right? Gutekunst, I think, wants to move. I think he wants to give the team to LaFleur like he
But there's
promised
an
him.
image, right, in front of the
I don't think
fans
I don't
and
think he expected that Rodgers was going to do as
right.
good as he is. Now Rodgers is doing what he expected him to do. And there's a divorce on the wings potentially if it continues. And I think that's a huge concern and something to kind of watch because you're already seeing it with Rodgers' comments about simplifying the offense and LaFleur kind of being like, I don't even know what the heck he's talking about. I mean, that was a like read a little bit in between the lines on that one because that's not a normal response. When you see LaFleur, you know, give every politically correct response about everything else, and that was not. So I feel like there's a little bit of concern within that, and I feel like that's where the power struggle is, right? There's a struggle of Rodgers and who he is and what kind of ball he wants to play. LaFleur, his offense. I think LaFleur is getting to the point it's like it's 4 years of this bull crap. I was told I was going to get to run my offense, and everything still comes back and goes through this guy, and I'm just sick of it. And maybe he gets to a point where he dips. I don't know. That being said, I mean we could talk about it for the next 10 hours. I want to ask you one question. Do you see? Do you think? Do you see? Do you wish? The Packers go after anybody before the trade deadline? Do you think they'll actually do it? Who do you think that they would go after? And is it actually feasible? I mean, is it realistic and does it actually solve any of the problems?
We've been through this for 10 years, more than 10 years, and nothing is hi, Jimmy.
I love you, Jimmy.
And that's the problem is the leverage thing, right? To answer your question though, I'm going to go against my better judgment and I'm going to say they do only because it might be panic mode and they may not know if that's maybe they don't even know if that's the answer. I don't think it's the answer. Bringing OBJ, bringing, DJ Moore, whatever it may be. I don't think that's the answer. You got to figure it out up front. You got to figure out how to get the ball in 33's hands. And you just got to learn how to like throw it through the offense because you've seen how it worked against a top-notch defense in Tampa. So don't tell me that this doesn't work. You just got to run it. And I don't think any of these guys that come in, yeah, it might spark the fan base a little bit more for a couple weeks. But then when they notice that those guys aren't getting the ball or they're not getting the ball correctly because he's not throwing it correctly, or let's just say he's just not reading the defense or the offensive line is not protecting, it doesn't matter then. All you did was just waste a pick or you wasted money on signing whoever. So I'm going to say yes, but I know what the real answer is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I don't think that it solves the problems, right? But I do think that there is an opportunity under the right circumstances, of course, to maybe bring in somebody that just sparks that locker room, gives a little bit of hype to that locker room, because that's a big problem. And I've been saying it all show. I'm concerned about the locker room. I'm concerned about the motivation, the drive of this team. And again, I don't know if bringing Odell changes that. I don't know if bringing a DJ Moore changes that. But it feels like everybody's just kind of down and out. They're not really into it. The coaching is weird. They're losing. They're feeling a little, I mean, it's definitely a little piss poor crybaby stuff. I'll give you that. And that's not football. But it's the football that we watch now. Okay. It's not the football that my grandpa played in.
This football
sucks.
I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. It's not the football that most of my parents grew up watching. It's not 70s. It's not 80s football. It's not tough nose. Get over it. Figure it out. We're dealing with a lot of money. We're dealing with a lot of TV rights. We're dealing with a lot of little divas, to be honest. So maybe that's just something that they can do. If you bring in an OBJ, right, for $2 million, right, we're talking $2 million to us is fantastically huge. To them, that is absolute. That's chump change. I don't know. DJ Moore, I said before the season, I said DJ Moore would have been such an awesome idea to go after. He's still, I think, like 24 years old. I mean, he's as old as some of our younger receivers. And he would probably cost like a 4th, 5th round pick. Who cares at this point? I know we do good on 4th round picks. You could probably give. I've seen Amari Cooper.
Screw the picks, man. If this is it, if you're all in, I say screw the picks at this point.
And then Cooper, I think, didn't Cooper go for like a 5th or a 6th? I mean, something crazy like that. you're telling me you couldn't get DJ Moore for a 6
Yeah, but Cooper
and
had the
7 and
contract
eat his
with them, though.
contract?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
think that
saying.
was
I think
a-
Moore
yeah.
has a decent contract to you'd have to basically resign him, I think. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know if it's something that I don't think it's something that changes the outcome of the season, but I do feel like we're on a downward trajectory. I think our team is feeling defeated. I think the coaching staff is struggling, and I think if there's not a big win on Sunday against Washington, it has to be something else. It has to be something internally, and that would be like you get rid of Joel Berry and actually bring in a defense coordinator who is like maybe young and has some like innovative stuff, or you bring in another receiver to kind of hype people up, or it's got to be something, right? Because you can't keep doing what you're doing. Or LaFleur says, "That's it. I'm opening up the playbook, and we're running all the annexations of Puerto Rico that we have, and we're going to figure it out. But we're not going to run these same game plans. Whatever it is, we're just going to go play football." And I mean, I hope that's what it gets to, but it just feels like this is an issue of execution and heart. And I don't know what order those actually play, but when you're down and out and your heart's not into it and you're not playing, that is a much deeper issue than just being like, oh, we just couldn't run the ball good. Like, I don't know, it just feels a little bit scarier than that.
You can open the
At least we're not the Broncos,
bigger,
though. At least we're not the Broncos. Big shout out to True Packers. Russell the Muscle. What's that all about?
I was going to say,
how?
You can open that playbook as big as you want. It's not going to change who's under center. But the Broncos, are they worse than us? Because
no, they're. But see,
that's
another
I think
thing.
they were in the
like,
same situation. Honestly, I think
it's very similar. I think it's very similar. I think that Nathaniel Hackett is not at all.
No,
he's in the wrong position by a million miles. But that's another team with an exceedingly massive amount of talent on both sides of the ball. Just like identity. Green Bay, and they just they're completely lost.
But the problem is that that was just like constructed, right? I mean, they had pieces there for a while. You know, they had some core pieces.
We lost Devontae.
We've been together forever. Like, what's our excuse?
We don't have one. That's the scary part.
So we got the Washington football team. Sorry, Washington Commanders.
No, that's fine. That's really what they are.
Where is this game at home or away? I don't even. I so checked out after that Jets game. I don't even know where this game is. Is it even at home? Because, man, do you want to put the Packer fans through that again and then potentially lose? Because that would be absolutely. That would be deflating for a fan base. And it's in Washington. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Let's
but that actually doesn't help.
Yeah, I know.
Traveling all the way to Washington. I don't know.
Are they going to travel? Our fan base going to travel? Yeah, they are. They're loyal.
No, I mean the team. Like, oh, it's so far. We just weren't prepared. We didn't have enough juice coming off the plane. Like, get over it.
I mean, do they need to ride that plane from is that Snoop Dogg's movie? Do they need to ride that kind of plane to get hyped? Like, I don't know what's going on. Is Delta Airlines not good enough? I don't know what do they need on that plane? Like, what do they need in the hotel? Get whatever you need. Jerry Jones does it. I don't know what is going on by this. We don't travel
Jerry Jones has been getting stuff in the hotel for a long time.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know what's going. Maybe get an Airbnb. I don't know, or just camp out in the forest and then go to the game. I don't know what it is, but it's just annoying.
Okay, now you're out of control. Let's go on to Washington. Camp out in the forest. What are you, high? So here's my quick take on Washington, because I think we brought up a couple points. For the most part, it's been a really solid front seven there for a long time. Chase Young, you said, is not playing. That's confirmed. So that's obviously he's an absolute stud. Offensively, Scary Terry, Tyler Heineke. Is it Tyler Heineke or Taylor?
Taylor. No,
I don't know why I was
Taylor Heineke. Yeah, Taylor Heineke. Why?
Yeah, Taylor Heineke,
you make me feel like Matt. All right,
that's what I'm saying. I know. I always screwed up. Taylor Heineke, huge Brett Favre Packer fan growing up.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be a little bit different when we play him. He's a little bit of he's kind of a grinder guy. Like I kind of like him. I
He
think
sucks.
okay. Well, you're just mad about life. I think he's like a
Yeah.
great backup quarterback, right? He's not a starter in the NFL, but he's a
Yeah.
great backup quarterback. He's the kind of guy who will come out and he will sling the ball. He is not going to play dumb ball. He's going to play chuck it ball. So I would say if you have, like Scary Terry McLaurin on your fantasy, that's probably a good play because I expect him to chuck the ball down the field. He's not one to dink and dive a whole lot. I think that actually benefits us a little bit. I think we are better in that regard. I think our defense will thrive against that. I think Rashawn Gary is a great game. I think we're better, right? We're truly better. I think the thing with the Giants and the Jets is that for 30 years, we've laughed at the Giants, we've laughed at the Jets. They've always been kind of, maybe not the Giants as much, but the Jets have always been kind of a joke. And maybe it's we all, even as fans, kind of underestimated the talent that they have. I think with Washington, I don't think we would be underestimating a lot, but I think we've been put on notice. And I think we have to kind of look at every game and be like, stop acting like you're the Packers of 2 years ago. You're not just going to steamroll teams. You got to play hard, gritty, tough football. You might have to get a black eye. You might have to bust your fingers up a little bit, but go play football the way it's played. And I think we can be successful. And that's going to come down to the coaches. It's going to come down to the players. And that's a huge part. That being said, I'm going to pick us to win because I just can't not pick us to win anymore because I still have nightmares of the time that I didn't. And I know Sanjay wants to do it.
I remember you were like, you had a come into Jesus moment and you just were
and you saw like the soul leave my body on screen.
You're sweating, like you had to text us.
Yeah, it was really
bad.
Can
I do a video, like a private video just saying I'm changing my Jeez.
Yeah, sure. Here's the thing. Is I know that there's a lot of issues. I know that we've explained them. I know we all people that are watching probably think we don't love the Packers. I would challenge you any day, any time of the year to think that what I say?
No. You're right. Yeah.
No, I think they're questioning the fact that I think they're because we've been blasting on them, right? And it's been well deserved. And I mean, we've never done that. I mean, I'm not somebody to ever blast on them. But there's a lot of concerns going into this game, and there's a lot of concerns going on in the team. That being said, no, I mean we're gonna beat this team. I think this is going to be a game where we have a really good comeback win. It's going to feel good, and then we're going to go play the Bills, and we're probably gonna, we're gonna have that's going to be a come to Jesus moment for them. That being said, I'm going to say we are going to beat the Redskins.
Don't say
34-17.
They haven't even sniffed 20. Stop.
Watch it.
I got us losing this game.
34-17.
I think this is.
Oh, of course you do, because I'm just Sunday, and that's what
this is what like what addicts when they go into that room and they know like, okay, this is the moment I need that fix, and then they're just like crazy. This is that moment with losses where this is your coming to Jesus moment, and like we just lost 3 damn games in a row to dog shit teams, and it's gonna hopefully galvanize this unit. And I have us losing this game 17-10. And I do believe that Aaron Rodgers actually starts to maybe realize that this offense needs to be run the correct way.
Did you say 17-10?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You're not gonna throw me under the fire after that.
I'm just gonna let you sound like an idiot.
That's fine. Again, this is out of love. Okay, this is out of love.
That's not how love works, buddy.
This is called tough love because you have not earned my belief that you guys can win a game. So I'm picking them to lose until they show me that they can win. So shock me, Packers. Shock me into knowing that you guys can win a goddamn game on the road or at home. I don't even know. Win more than just a Bears game that we're supposed to win, and then a fluke Buccaneer game against a bunch of replacements. Okay? Tell me that you can do that. And then, against also Bailey Zappi. But, guys, thank you so much. We've had a really good turnout tonight. The chat room was bumping.
Yeah, you guys were awesome, man. Thanks so much to Mastodon, Jason, Robert, Fidel, Sharon, Nick, Iowa Joe. It's Fidel. He said it was like Castro. Dum. Read a comment. Jimmy C, big Jimmy C, from Lombardi's Bar. Make sure you guys check that out. That is a killer show.
Tomorrow.
It's a great show. You should check it out. I like it. Matthew Jensen even showed up. That was cool.
Yeah, like he's like driving and watching us. That's a little scary.
Yeah, but anyway, you know what? We love it. This has been probably one of our best Tuesdays. I guess we just got to suck. We got to suck as a team, and then everybody wants to come talk about football with us. That's exciting.
Yeah. It's not come back again next Tuesday when we potentially have a win under this new look Packers, or we have a loss that Sanjay's correct and they just don't know how to win.
We just suck constantly.
Hey, but until the meantime, go watch some Bucks because they're back tomorrow. The NBA season is underway. But again, no matter what, that's Fred. I'm Sanjay. Matt will be back with us next week.
He'll be whack with us. Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.